welcome everybody. This is Crash Bang Boom, episode 8, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, sweet. My name is Alkazum.
I'm muted in live.
So,
And
this week...
we're here to talk about some patch now.
Yeah, we have the big V43 update. Big visual update. That's kind of the big thing, and there's also lots of balance, though. This is kind
lots
of
of balance changes.
Kind of the second balance patch of V42.
Yeah.
And this one is just as substantial, I'd say. It's pretty much, yeah, just as big.
Yeah, it has definitely some really big changes to it.
One just quick thing I want to say off the start, some just like podcast related news. So we're gonna start doing
VODcast.
Yeah, so we're gonna be recording the podcasts in real time while we do them. Currently, right now, we just have, so just to give you kind of a rundown of what it's going to look like. Right now, I'm looking at the patch notes, and so when we talk about things, I'm going to be able to kind of show you. In the future, if we use some sort of media, we might be able to show it on screen, whatever. You'll also see Muted and myself will have like cameras, so you can see us talking and kind of interacting and all that kind of stuff. For this first week, because Muted is a noob and doesn't have his like webcam set up, it's just going to be kind of the background. There's going to be no cameras this time. But anyway, we'll give you guys all the info for that more kind of at the end of the show, and then at the start of next week once we start getting a little bit more into that. But so that's exciting. So both on iTunes, and it's going to be on YouTube as well. So whichever method you prefer.
Fun, fun, fun. Taylor Daddy takes a T-bird away.
Dude, what song is it?
Dude, it's the Beach Boys, bro. Come on.
Sorry.
So, I watched briefly. I watched the whatever dev stream. I guess that went on today.
Yeah, me and I were watching it 18th. A little bit this morning.
The visual updates look amazing.
Yeah, the map looks.
I'm super excited for them.
Really nice. Towers look awesome.
Towers look awesome. The bases look awesome. The water effects are amazing. I'm actually a little worried about people who play on the PS4. Like, I don't know anything about PS4s,
do you think
but
it's gonna have trouble running it?
I wasn't sure. That's why I just said a little worried. Like, I don't know anything about PS4, but it seems pretty intense, honestly. Like the graphics, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, it does. It does.
So, I mean, maybe, hopefully not, but like maybe I could see like maybe like the cheaper models of PS4s.
Right. Yeah.
Struggling.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, but yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying.
Even though like,
good. And this is something, again, if one reason why we're doing this whole YouTube thing is like we can talk about the visual update, but it's kind of hard to just say. You kind of have to see it. So if you're watching this on the YouTube, you'll actually get to see screenshots of the visual update, kind of to see what we're talking about here. So anyway, but yeah, it looks really nice. Both sides kind of have their own sort of specific themes now. Kind of like in Dota, you can kind of tell, you know, which side you're on very, very clearly. Obviously, the Dawn side is white and like very.
It's got a
ornate.
sweet water.
Yeah, this
thing,
water
orb thing. The launchers are like little mini waterfalls now on the Dawn side.
Oh, is that right? I didn't even see that.
Those are sweet looking. I don't actually know what they are on the other side, on the Dusk side.
Yeah, but
on the Dawn side, they're little waterfalls.
You have a big sphere of water above the base, which looks really cool for Dawn. For Dusk, you kind of have that same pillar, but it's like a molten looking core. The jungle, the river, all updated. Oh, I mean, obviously everything is updated, but man, it looks really cool. I can't wait to start playing on this. I think this is going to be really fun. And really, some of the effects are so cool. I'm really impressed by the water. Is like the big thing. And now, too, one big thing about this patch is no more invisible walls. So you can actually go over all walls, including the prime wall. I'm just now watching a clip of Aurora going into a prime wall, going over the prime wall and killing everybody, which is pretty cool. So yeah, visual update.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah,
but we all know that's not what you guys are here for.
And we can't really talk about it. You know, you kind of have to see it. So,
you guys are here for our sick McNasty hero balance conversation. You know it.
That's right. This is gonna be very much like the
two patches ago.
Whatever. Yeah, the last patch where the last balance patch.
V42.3.
So again, we're kind of just gonna go down one at a time, talk about everything, what we think. We're gonna try to make it a little bit quicker this time.
The last one was long.
Yeah.
So, alright, Aurora's first. We'll go alphabetically through the heroes.
Yep.
Basically, Aurora just got a bunch of quality of life changes.
Yeah.
Glacial charge cast speed has been increased, which sucks, but there's no longer a delay before beginning.
Yes.
Hoarfrost cast speed has been increased, which is nice. Radius is increased. And then Cryosim cast speed increased as well.
Yeah. That Aurora, playing her it felt super obvious that her abilities were like really kind of clunky and took a long time to come out. To use the the Hoarfrost, the Hoarfrost, which is her E, I believe, where you have the circle around somebody that will root them if they step in it. It felt like it took so long to come out. You had to be like on top of them to even have a chance. So a little bit increase to the radius and the cast speed increase. Honestly, more than anything, it will make her better. It is a buff, but really it's just gonna make her feel better to play.
It'll just honestly make her feel how she should feel. Like melee characters should not have cast times on their spells. That's silly. They're melee. They need to be able to cast their spells right then. There is no, I don't know.
Right.
And it made her feel bad, just bad to play.
So anyway, this is great. I'm really excited about this.
Bellica finally getting knocked down.
Nerf.
Honestly, I think that this is pretty much what she needed.
Really?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I think that
so her seismic assault got nerfed, which is her Q, which is the line skill shot knockup.
Her knockup, yeah.
So and essentially damage was reduced at all levels. At max rank, base damage is down by 24, and power scaling reduced.
It's down by about 10%.
Yeah. Power scaling reduced from 1.88 to 1.67.
So honestly, I guess you're right. I think it'll reduce her ability to one-shot people.
Yeah.
But with the cards in the game, the Fireball card, Glycerin Dawn, it doesn't really matter. Plus her ult. It's just her CC ends up being so just overbearing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you can hit so many people and it knocks them up for so long. So long.
Yeah.
Plus then they get stunned when they're on the ground and there's no cleanses in this game.
Yep. Yeah, so a little slight nerf. I think Bellica's still gonna be S tier. Probably still the best. But anyway.
Yeah.
Drongo, just some bug fixes, pretty much.
Yeah, basically nothing changed.
Skip that. Gideon, another small buff. So his slow is increased. It says slow magnitude increased. I assume that means the actual movement speed reduction.
Yeah.
It says increase from 100 to 150. So it's a little bit more of a CC, which is good. And then a lot of his base stats. To be honest,
at 100, it didn't feel like it did anything.
Yeah, I think
I'm not really sure making 150 will make it feel like it does anything, but
we'll see.
Fine.
Yeah.
Gideon. They're pretty sure that they like the spot that Gideon's in, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Except for his early game. They think that he needs to be stronger.
Yeah.
In the early
so
game.
They're increasing his movement speed by 10 from 680 to 690. I doubt you'll feel that much, but whatever, cool. His base health increased, and then health per level, health regen, and
base health regen.
Yeah, and
then
defense
basic defense
per level increased. So just some stat increases again, which is nice, I guess. Doesn't do a ton. So
yeah, so I mean, hopefully Gideon will just feel a little bit more tanky throughout the entire game, I guess, very slightly.
Right.
Grim.
So the big change here is his deflector shield. The mana cost went from 40 to 0, so it doesn't cost any mana, which is
good.
Cool. Yeah, the one thing that's really nice about this is that he has his defensive ability 100% of the time.
Yeah, even if
like obviously it has a cooldown still, but even if he has no mana, he still has this, which is really interesting because no other character has that. At least not to my knowledge. So that's pretty cool. And then again, like Gideon, just a lot of basic stat
increases.
So
like they think that he's in a good spot pretty much, but they just want him to be a little bit better. And I really think that the deflector shield is important because he doesn't have an escape. So, and to be fair, like he kind of, I don't know, it feels necessary. Like he needs something to help him a little bit, and this feels like it'll be good.
Yep.
You know, you don't really have to worry about using. You can focus on managing your mana on offensive spells, and you just know that you have that in your pocket no matter what.
Right. So Grux, just some bug fixes, pretty much.
Yeah, whatever minor improvements to basic attack animation means. That's
and then like, some smash and grab bug fixes. So the next big one is Iggy.
So Iggy took a pretty direct hit from the nerf at this.
I honestly don't think this is that bad.
But yeah, I mean,
but I think this is good.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, no, definitely. So his turret health, which everybody has been asking for, and we talked about this like 3 weeks ago. We said that this should have been the nerf to Iggy, but and I still don't even think this is the right nerf.
I don't either.
His turret health is reduced from 220. Well, okay, so essentially his turret health was reduced. At max rank, it's reduced by 60, from 700 to 640.
But at first rank, it's not reduced at all.
It's not reduced at all. It's still
so like the turrets being super oppressive early game and impossible to kill, that's still a thing. But late game, when your ranged carry would two-shot the turrets, like that's still a thing too. Also. Like nothing has changed really.
Yeah, this balance is hard because, like Mita was just saying, I feel like Iggy seems so good in early to mid game because if you're maxing turret first, your turrets become so tanky, and they're gonna take, upwards of 6, 6, 7, 8, maybe even more auto attacks to kill. So for some characters, like if you're a mid laner, it's not even worth really trying to kill his turrets.
Right, like if you're if you're both level, what do you get max at? 6, 7, 7, right? If you put one thing and everything else.
I think it's
1, 2, 3 plus 4. Yeah, 8? No, it's 7. You can only put 4 levels and everything.
Oh, fair enough.
4 levels plus 3 other skills.
Yeah.
So 7. So at level 7 though, what is your mid laner auto attack actually hitting?
Probably like 60.
Like 60 to 80, maybe 100.
No way. There's no way.
Like, so
no way it's 100. It's probably I think it's 60.
That's even if it's 100. Say that they are hitting 100, which is way more than we do think they're hitting. It still takes 7 shots.
Yeah, the thing is
7 auto attacks.
What's interesting too about this is like okay. It used to have 700 health at max rank. Now it has 640. The thing here too is that probably might not even be one auto attack, because let's say right now your auto attack does like 50 damage, or let's just say it does 80 damage or something. I don't know. Okay, let's say before it was 700, but let's say you hit it a certain amount so that you hit it for 620 total. Then before, the turret had 80 health left, and then on your next auto attack you kill it. Now you hit it for 620 total. Well, the turret only has 20 HP left, but it still takes one more auto attack to kill. So even though it's 60 health less, it might not actually change the amount of autos it takes. Honestly, I was talking about this with Muto a little bit earlier. I think this is really hard to balance because early and mid game everybody's going to take forever to kill these turrets, and late game your carry is going to 2 or 3 shot it, and your carry is going to be attacking really fast. So what I kind of suggested was in League of Legends, if anybody's played it, killing wards, there's like a pip system. So it takes, for example, a certain ward in League of Legends, I think takes 4 auto attacks to kill, regardless of how much damage you do to it. It's always, your auto attack removes 1 like pip of health, essentially. Honestly, I think that would be good to do for Iggy, but I don't exactly know how you would balance that. But anyway, this is better. It's a step in the right direction. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference, though. I think the next change is bigger, the burning sensation.
You want to read it?
Yeah, so the base damage is reduced from, well, we'll just say at level 1 it's reduced by 7 from 35 to 28. At max rank it's reduced from 105 to 84, so it's down by 30. So in general it's like a
30, but like at 30 of 105, right, is like 30%, so.
Well, so sorry, it's down by 20. It's down like 20% at all ranks. That's the base damage, and then the power scaling is reduced from 0.84 to 0.66. So in general, that passive damage is going to be a lot lower. And I think that's good. I think Iggy feels good, and playing against Iggy feels sort of fine. The thing that's annoying is when you fight an Iggy and then you run away and you lose like a fifth of your health in burning damage, and then you just die from passive. And that's kind of annoying. So that will happen less often, and that will do less damage, so that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah. The passive getting reduced is just, it's just nice, because that's like unavoidable damage, like off his auto attacks and everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And one last thing is health gain per level was decreased from 68.6 to 62.6, so down 6 per level. So at max level I have 120 less health, which is
negligible.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but cool.
It's 2 auto attacks from a support and half an auto attack from a carry.
Yeah.
So
anyway, whatever.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah, but Iggy, they're finally taking steps in the right direction, trying to reduce the turret health, and just tuning down his passive a little bit, which seems, fun.
Yep.
Good. It'll feel good to play against him.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was watching after the dev stream. I was watching one of the guys who got invited over to test out, V43, and he was playing Iggy, and he was talking about the changes and stuff. And he said that he did, he'd only played like one game, so he didn't have like a really big, pool to draw. But he said that it didn't feel like it affected him that much. So there's that.
Right.
Cuong, bang.
Yeah. So okay, this change, it kind of confuses me. So, okay, Judgment of the Heavens. This is his tether, where he throws his sword.
Yep.
I think. Wait, let me just make sure that's right.
When it lands, it deals 70 damage and tethers enemies to it for 1.75
That is
seconds.
Judgment of the Heavens.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the radius is increased from 250 to 350, which is huge. This is like the biggest. I want to say noob trap, but that's not true. But in any game, if there's ever a radius change, it is way bigger of a change than it looks like. Because of how circles work, if you're increasing the radius by 100, you are increasing the area by a ton. So even though, alright, so let's hold on. We're just gonna do some math real quick. 250 squared times pi is like.
For those who don't know much about geometry, the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to an edge. Yeah. So it's not even like all the way across, which is the diameter, right? They increase just from the center to the edge by 100. So the diameter of the circle, the length all the way across from one side to another side, got increased by 200.
Yeah. So okay, right. So the radius is increased from 250 to 350. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, what this means, the area is about doubled, which is huge. And I don't really know why. I mean, it was hard to hit, kind of, but it wasn't hard to hit. Yeah.
It's not hard to hit. It's easy to hit.
And the thing is, because I honestly think this ability is so good.
It's so good.
I don't know why Cuong is getting buffed, to be honest. Cuong feels still really strong.
Yeah, he's like
buff.
one of the most oppressive characters in the game with a single card.
Yeah.
And then
anyway. On top of that, his Fury of the Heavens, is that his ult? Are you looking?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So his radius increased from 500 to 700. Honestly, I think that's fine. I don't really know why they're doing this either. I guess it's so even if you miss your sword, you can still hit people, I guess. Honestly, I don't think this is going to matter that much. Because most of the time you're going to use this to ult onto a tethered target, which you would have hit them before, and you're still going to hit them now. So, honestly, I don't think this really makes much of a difference. I'm kind of confused.
I don't know.
Change, but
his ult does a pretty decent amount of damage.
Honestly, yeah, actually, I guess 700 is pretty far.
And 700
radius.
is huge. Like, basically now, as long as you ult into the almost the center or close to the center, you're gonna hit everyone in a team fight. Like,
yeah.
I'm curious what the radius of Gideon's ult is.
Oh, it's quite a bit further. I think the radius of Gideon, oh yeah, that's a radius too.
Yeah.
Again, I was thinking like, holy crap.
It's huge. It's
dude,
huge,
honestly,
man.
I bet I was gonna say the diameter of Gideon's is maybe 1500, which is gonna be what this is now. Dang, that's crazy. I didn't even. Yeah, this is big. These are huge changes to Cuong.
Cuong just got like super buffed.
Yeah, he got super buffed. Yeah. Because again, you have the diameter going from 1000 to 1400.
Plus, you also have to think like a lot of people may say, "Oh, he only got buffed for noobs because all his shit just got easier to hit," right? Well, not really, because also if you increase the radius, well, you're increasing the range by a little bit, right? Like
that's
if you
true.
put it at the max,
right.
if you put the your circle at the max distance you can shoot it, well, now that max distance
you're gaining 100 range on his Q. You're right. And
so
you're gaining. I mean, your ult, you're actually not gaining.
The ult is an AoE around you, so you don't gain range on that one.
Yeah, or the sword. Yeah, but you're right.
But like you can shoot the sword even farther too. So
yeah,
like
100
I don't know.
further. Yep, buff to Cuong. I don't think you needed it. I don't like this change, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure you actually needed to get nerfed. You got nerfed last patch.
Yeah, I don't know why it's getting buff.
But
anyway, whatever. On to our boy
Narbash. Feels bad, man.
So Narbash got. But I think this is it. Honestly, I really like this change.
Yes, I don't think it's. It's just very slight. Song of My People, the healing aura got reduced. At max level from 60 to 50, and at early levels, you know, at the first level only from 24 to 20. So you know, it'll still be really strong early game, and pretty strong mid game. I think mid game is where it took almost the most punishment, but then late game, you know, it's still good. It's still good. It still goes for a lot.
I think honestly, his heal felt so strong. I know pre V42, you would always be maxing his thunk. Pretty early on, within kind of a week or two, I think people realized his heal was really good, and you started maxing his heal now. Now you still probably max his heal, or maybe you kind of
change.
Yeah, maybe you choose. Yeah, if you need the CC, if you need the healing. But yeah, I think that's a good change. His heal was, I think, too strong.
Also, Crash Bang Boom, which is his ultimate, right?
Yeah, our namesake.
Reduced total damage. At max levels from 644 to 579.
Yeah. Honestly, I did not. When I read this change, I was amazed because I did not realize his ult did that much damage. That's a lot of damage.
I mean, it still basically does 600 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is good. Again, I didn't realize it did this much damage, but it probably shouldn't do that much.
Also the power scaling got reduced.
It
but
was
I don't know if
5.22
that really
to
matters
4.6.
because
Yeah, he's not going to be building
how
much
many
power
power items
Yeah, you
do
might
you
have one,
actually
like maybe
have?
with like
So
10 power.
right.
So
So,
yeah, so good. I think those are
overall,
good nerfs. Narbath
yeah,
is easily
and
the best
my
support.
favorite,
I still think
my,
he's probably the best, but
my favorite
less
part I
good.
think about these nerfs is that it doesn't feel like he got hit by the bat. You know what I mean? Like these are
Yeah.
nice subtle changes
Right.
that I think will put him. Will close the gap between the pack and the S plus tier supports.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. He doesn't feel like he lost anything.
Right. So okay, on to Sevarog. Sevarog, his base health was increased by about 25, and his health regen at base was increased a little bit as well. Cool. The big thing is his Q, his siphon, the soul stack breakpoints, where you get. So if you don't know how this mechanic works, if you're kind of new to the game, Sevarog, if he executes
last hits
a minion or a hero with his Q ability, he gets a soul stack. Every
soul stack gives 3 health.
Yeah, every stack gives 3 health, plus it gives some extra damage to his Q
1 ability damage.
Okay, but then at certain thresholds, he gains bonus health and ability
20,
damage.
30, 40,
health?
50. Yes.
Okay.
20, 30, 40, 50 health, and 10, 15, 20, 25 bonus ability damage.
So those breakpoints used to be at 20, 50, 90, and 140, and they are now at 10, 30, 60, and 100. The maximum stacks is still 200. Honestly, I don't think this really does anything.
I think, well, it does, right? It makes his early game stronger. That's what they buffed.
You are right, but the thing that you need to consider is that in V43, they have also introduced some jungle changes. So the max. So now we're just gonna talk about this briefly. We can come back to it later. In the jungle, what happens now is there's a big minion that spawns at every camp, and then now every 90 seconds instead of every 60, an additional minion will spawn up to 3 minions total. So a full camp now, instead of 5 small minions, is 1 big minion, 2 small minions. So for Sevarog, now the most stacks he can ever get at one camp is 3, not 5. So I think.
But they also added an extra white camp.
That's true. That's true. But still, that means you're just gonna have to constantly be farming.
That's true. I see where you're going with this, and I agree.
Yeah,
it takes longer.
I think even on one side of the jungle, it used to have 15 total on the strong side. Now you have 12 total on the strong side.
Yeah.
So you're still down 3 minions on that side of the jungle, and the other side is down,
you're down
4 minions.
4 minions.
So
I feel like
honestly,
he would have.
I don't think this is the
alone
change we need.
Probably hit Sevarog pretty hard. So I only think that this balances that out.
Yeah, agreed. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I think honestly, because the games are shorter, I think what should happen, if I were balancing the game, which I think I should be, but whatever. No, I'm just kidding. But
Iris.
I think the maximum stacks should be decreased by a little bit, and the amount you get per stack should be increased. That's my personal opinion. But anyway, this I think this is going to be a net.
I don't think it'll change
0,
too much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, net 0.
We got some bug fixes for Shinbi. Steel. There's some big changes for Steel.
Yes.
So Bull Rush is no more. His Q is changed.
Yep.
So he no longer has
it's called Shield Bash
initiation.
now.
Yeah, now he has a short stun. So of course, yeah, called Shield Bash.
He strikes out with his shield. It's in a localized area in front of him. So I'm assuming it's basically melee range, but there's maybe a cone.
Yeah.
Maybe a cone. Would make sense. And then the enemies hit by the shield are stunned for 0.5 seconds. It costs 70 mana, and its cooldown is 9876.
Yep. And it does damage to 88, 117, 146, and 176. So not a ton of damage, but a little bit more than an auto, maybe an auto and a half. And then the short stun.
0.5 seconds.
And then short cooldown. I honestly really like abilities like this, especially on tanks. I like short CCs on like pretty short cooldowns. So yeah, I honestly like this a lot, but I think having his bull rush removed
is really gonna hurt him.
So
just quickly, shield slam got reduced range,
that's his
but an increased area of effect.
And this one is the area, which is interesting. This is not a radius change. This is an area change.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Bulwark, the cooldown on which is his giant shield thing, right? The cooldown got reduced from 18 to 14.
The
so it's
ability
very
that you never use.
And then general balance, you got some base mana and regen. They actually got reduced.
Which seems weird because steel doesn't seem very good. Honestly, steel is kind of different now. He's a little bit more of a bruiser and less of like a tank, initiator.
His only initiation now is his ult, which
he
really
has no gap closer now.
If you look at every single other like good melee fighter in the game, Aurora, Wukong, even Rampage to an extent, Chimera, Grux, Greystone even, like pretty much every single one has some sort of gap closer or initiation that isn't their ult. Right? And so now Steel is reduced to only having Shield Slam, which is on a 90-second cooldown. Like, that's his only only initiation.
Yeah, I think honestly, if they would have added Shield Bash
instead of Bulwark,
like using
really good.
Shield Bash to replace either Steel's passive ability or his shield ability, like I think it would have been good because both those abilities are kind of I mean, they're okay. The passive ability armor one is cool, but it's kind of boring and it's really hard to see its effect, to be honest. And his bulwark, like the big shield that you hold up, like is pretty much worthless because it pretty much only stops auto attacks from like their ranged carry. And even then, it's like you can't do anything else for the duration, and you can't pivot, and it just feels bad. So I can understand why they wouldn't want to remove that ability because it's a very unique ability, and I think they want Steel to be kind of this tank protector type person, but that ability is just pretty bad. So anyway, I think this is cool. I think this is maybe a step in the right direction, but I still I don't know. I think what this tells me is they want Steel to be more of like a protector type of character rather than kind of an initiator, bruiser.
But there isn't really a spot for a protector character in the meta.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they fix his shield, it would be honestly, if his shield could stop all skill shots and could maybe like stop enemy movement, like could block heroes too. Like I think it would be sweet. Like I think it'd be good.
It applies as slow to people who touch it. Minus 180 max move speed for 3 seconds.
Didn't even know that because literally I never used the ability because it's crap. Anyway,
yeah.
On to the next
so
one.
That's the changes to Steel. Next is Phase. So Phase got buffed.
Yeah, which is sweet.
She got pretty dumpstered by V43.
Yeah,
she was like the best support, easily, hands down, prior to V42, and then she was I would say she probably was the worst support. She just doesn't give anything really.
So they real quick. What happened in V42 is they nerfed her, I think damage, but definitely the range on her energy lance, and I think some duration on her Q, which they might have done before. They nerfed her ult a little bit as well, and a big change that wasn't actually a change to phase, but a change to the game was health regen is way harder to get, and you can't really itemize for it specifically in this patch. Not at least not like you could in pre-V42, so that was a big change as well, because on phase you had tons of healing from that, which you don't have anymore. But anyway, lots of changes across the board. So her energy lance, this is her E. The damage is increased a little bit, which honestly I don't think that matters that much.
It just helps proc the root, right?
Yeah, exactly. The total power scaling is up a little bit as well, which cool. Again, it doesn't.
So it's a little bit easier to proc the root. It was already pretty easy to proc the root.
Isn't based on damage though, is it? Isn't it based on?
Yeah, it is.
It is? Oh, okay.
Based on damage done, I'm pretty sure. Here, I'll double check.
I thought it was times that the ability hit. Anyway, then the Psychic Flare, this is your Q, that's the AoE blind.
Right, 8 stacks.
Yeah, so that doesn't actually help the proc, it just does a little bit more damage, which is fine. So her Q cooldown is reduced to 10 seconds from 12, so that's cool.
Okay,
now you can probably use it twice in a fight, maybe 3 times if it's a long fight. Her link, the healing is increased at base by a decent amount, so it went from 12, 18, 24, 30 to 16, 24, 32, 40 for 4 seconds.
So by the time you hit level 3, it's already better than it was before at max rank.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool. I think that's good. And then some general balance.
They took away her healing with just the way they changed the cards, so they're doing
a little better. I still don't think this is great, but it's better. And then some general balance. Her health per level, mana regen per level have all been increased. So I think this is good. I think this makes... I honestly still think FaZe is bad.
Yeah.
But she's better. I think she went from like D tier to probably C tier. But hey, we're moving up in the world. She's playable and situational.
Steps in the right direction. Yeah. Steps in the right direction.
Revenant. This change is interesting. You and I talked a little bit about this morning.
I think it's bad, but
yeah.
So Reckoning, which is his ultimate, right? The gold bounty has been substantially increased.
Yeah.
By pretty much doubled across the board, basically. So the problem is that you never use Reckoning because it sucks.
Because it has a cast time and
like. We've talked about so many different ways to change Revenant to be good, and this was never one of them. And it was never one of them for a reason. And the reason was this doesn't matter, like at all.
I think
the amount of gold that you're getting from killing someone, like getting 1,000 extra gold from killing someone once you're past level 15, does not matter. Getting 400 extra gold early, like. Maybe that matters, but like, when are you going to be able to actually kill someone with this?
Yeah,
it's more of just a problem with the ranged position in the meta in general. Pretty much how Rangers work right now is, by the time you actually have an impact on the game, unless both teams are really even, the game is already over, basically, unless somebody throws. Like, one team is super ahead, and then you come in and you are either get swept up in the super ahead of your team, or you just get absolutely dumpstered because one of their assassins is super fed. Yeah. So this, and then also his attack speed per level was increased from 2.5 to 4, and they put a side note that this doesn't actually do anything except for reduces reload time. So that doesn't matter either in like most situations. If you aren't killing someone in 4 shots or less, like 4 shots plus your abilities, then they're not you're not reloading and shooting again, like in most situations.
So I think the gold change is cool. My problem with that is Revenant doesn't feel good enough early game for that to really matter. In pre V42, Revenant was so good because his early game was far and away the best by carries. It wasn't even close. Revenant was clearly the best early game. Probably pre-level like 9. Like easily. Now, I don't even know if he is the best. And if he is, it's not by much at all. And
so Revenant, the reason...
like he used to snowball hard, and this ult helped him snowball hard. But now it's so much harder to snowball because he's less good in the early game that I don't think this really matters because you're not going to be getting a ton of kills anyway.
The reason he was so strong early game is basically almost solely from that one Chaos card, whose name I no longer remember, but it was like the only like 2-cost card in the entire game, pretty much, or like one of the only 2-cost cards in the entire game. The chaos one that you bought first that gave us attack speed and damage, that was cheap. You could buy it and fill it.
Sorry, you're talking pre V42.
Pre V42.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Madstone
I don't remember what it's called. Madstone Gem. Thank you, Madstone Gem. So that card literally made Rangers actually do things early game, and especially Revenant. Revenant relied heavily on that. Most Revenant decks built like 3 of those, like at certain points in the game, like at their late early game, early mid game. Just because they needed that huge damage spike, and that's what helped him snowball. I mean, with the gold from Reckoning, obviously, if you ever got it off, but mostly that's what helped him snowball, was just the ability to really stack on damage as fast as possible. And now there's nothing that does that, and so how do you justify having reload? Like, how do you justify that versus other carries? You just don't.
You need to make his real attack speed, how fast he actually attacks. You need to make it faster, I think. Or give him more shots.
He just needs to do more damage.
Yeah, or that.
Like, his autos should just hit way harder than all other Rangers. He only has 4 shots, and then he has to reload. Yeah. Like, it's not enough. And it's not enough that his E does bonus damage on the last shot, because that's an ability you have to level up. Yeah. Like, it should be like a passive. Like, he should passively just have more damage on his auto attacks for something. I don't know. This change means nothing. Revenant is still irrelevant. He's still easily the worst Ranger in the game. I would even say that the Ranger version of Grim that some people run is probably better than Revenant. So
yeah. All right,
moving on.
Faye.
This is Faye got buffed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these are going to be actually
really good,
super annoying to play against.
So her Bramble Patch, this is the route, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The line route. So the width is increased from 16 to 20. Is that right or no?
I'm clicking. Here it is. Bramble Patch. Yep. Okay. Line of thorny brambles.
Yeah. So the width is increased by 16
slows
to
enemies.
20.
It's not a route,
right,
though.
Sorry, not a route. But it also, you can now cast it while moving. A lot of people didn't like this. Like, their problem with this ability was that it had a cast time, so if you're moving, it would stop your movement. Anyway, they removed it, so now it's instant cast, so you can move while casting, which is cool. And then Flytrap, which is her ult, correct?
Yep.
The radius was increased from 530 to 575, which is cool. I don't think it necessarily needed that, but cool.
I don't think it needed that either. It was already pretty big.
Yeah.
But, yep,
cool.
So Faye got buffed.
I thought Faye was pretty good already.
I thought she was pretty good already.
I think she was probably B or like A- tier. She's probably like...
She's probably solid, pretty solid A now.
Yeah, I mean, like solid.
Being able to cash Bramble Patch while moving is actually a huge buff, I think.
Yeah.
It just... Because before, she needed to use... Basically, you hit them with a Bramble Patch, and then the slow just allows you to make up the distance you lost because you had to stop. Well, now, if she hits you with it, like, you're dead.
Yeah.
So. Yep. Twin Blast got taken a little bit of a nerf as well.
Yep.
Rocket Dash increased cooldown. Increased the cooldown by a second.
Yep. 4 to 5 seconds.
And rapid fire damage just got decreased a little bit.
Yeah, it's 5% at all ranks for heroes, and then 5% reduced damage to minions as well. So I think that's fine.
Yeah,
nothing too crazy, but good changes, I think.
Yeah, rapid fire is a little bit worse. Feels bad, man. I guess.
Wraith, I don't like these changes. So his knock, which is his mouse button, his snipe.
Yep, his only damaging ability.
Yeah, the mana cost was reduced by 20 at all levels.
Isn't it free if you kill something?
It's free if you kill something, but this honestly, this helps him in like fights where you're going to be using it for damage, not for like
class and in lane it helps him because he's not punished as much for poking.
Yeah, so this is good.
And then other than that, he just got general balances.
Yeah, just damage per level increased.
Mana regen.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think this helps Wraith. I mean, it helps him obviously, but this isn't. They're not really.
This isn't going to bring him from D tier anywhere.
Yeah, I think
that far up.
I think it needs to.
Maybe it brings him to C, but probably not.
It needs to be his cooldowns and his damage. Although the mana cost helps, but anyway. Yin next.
Lash kick range increased from 750 to 850, so
you where you jump to people.
So that's nice. That's nice. It helps with her, being able to chase people down, which is what she needs to be good at. And then general balance. These are one of the more important general balances that I think we've seen on any
I agree.
So far. Movement speed increased from 690 to 705. That's really important on her.
I agree.
Being able to chase people down or run away from people or reposition in fights, all that stuff. It may be a very small movement speed increase, but because of the type of character she is, every little bit counts in the movement speed area.
Does.
Sure. And then basic armor per level increased, which makes sense. She gets melted pretty hard, and she's not building any defensive items.
It's not that much. It's essentially you're gaining 1 armor at... Well, you're gaining 2 armor by level 10, 4 armor at max rank.
It's not a ton, but I don't know. These both seem like changes that might actually have like it'll be subtle, but like an impact on Yin. Last is Zinx, and I think overall she got nerfed.
Yeah, she did.
The rebalanced mana regen on dirty healing. That's her ult.
Yeah,
right?
That's her ult. So it used to be the bonus mana regen was 3, 4, or 5%, and now it's 3.5% at all levels. And then the mana cost per healing gained, it used to be like a 1-to-1 ratio at level 1, and then 0.8 mana per health, and then 0.6 mana per health at max rank, and now it's 1.1, 1, and 0.9. So this just makes her a little less tanky. So essentially what's going to happen, she's not going to regen mana as fast. She's going to be a little less tanky when she does have mana. So I think both things are good. I think this is a good change.
And then her health gain per level, her base health regen, and her health regen per level all got nerfed a little bit. Basically, she's just going to be a little bit less tanky than she was before, which doesn't mean that she'll do anything. She'll just be less tanky.
Yep. Cool.
Other than that, just some visual updates.
So the next big thing, game mode and economy, they've removed the amber link, if you didn't already hear. So now what happens is where the amber link was is where they're putting the green buff, and then where the green buff was, they're adding another white camp. So now
which we talked about.
Right, yeah. So now on that strong side of the jungle, you still have the green buff, now you have 4 camps.
Gold drip, they increased the passive gold drip per minute from 288 to 390, which obviously, because they're taking out Amber Link, so you used to be getting passive gold from that, so they buffed the passive gold. And they increased the speed at which the drip is granted from 5 seconds to 1 second.
Yeah, thank God, I love that. Honestly, I think this is actually a really important change for supports, and the reason why is Gold Drip starts the second you enter the game, and the Amber Link doesn't really start until 2 minutes because it drains every even minute, and obviously you have to fill it up with minions, so you don't actually get any gold till the first clear. What this does is allows the support to probably buy their first item and a ward before, and they can get to lane and not miss like a wave.
XP.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool. But yeah,
hero kills bounties. They increase the gold that you get from killing a hero, the base gold, from 455 to 550. So you get more money for killing people now, which is nice.
Yeah.
But they reduced the net worth bonus, which is basically how much the bounty increases for every 1 gold the enemy hero has earned. That's exactly what it says.
So essentially what this means is, so I've just done the math. Essentially, the break-even point is like 16.6k gold. So essentially before, so let's just say 17k. So before a person has earned 17k gold total, before they've earned that much, you will gain more gold from killing them than you do on live, and after that you will gain less gold from killing them than on live. So that's kind of how that works out, which is fine. Kills, honestly, kills in the early game don't seem to matter that much at all. Like, getting first blood is cool and all, but it doesn't feel like it's that much, to be honest. But yeah, so this is good. Gets you some more gold in the early game, which I think is good. I still think it needs to be maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure, but I think this is a good change. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
So then, as we briefly have gone over, they changed white camps. So now they will spawn with a large minion and then reinforce with up to 2 small minions.
Yeah.
The large minions will grant 150 gold and 42 XP, and the small minions will grant 50 gold and 15 XP.
Yeah.
Gold buff.
And then, sorry, did you already say the spawn change? I mentioned this earlier, but the reinforcement time is at 90 seconds instead of 60 now. So.
Yep. So they spawn slower.
Yep. The green buff, it used to give you 150 gold for killing it. Now you get 200, and the XP went from 40 to 45, so it doesn't really matter. The gold buff, they increased the gold bounty from 204 to 225. I don't know why it gave you 204. That seemed so random. 225 is better. It still doesn't seem like a lot. I think it should be like maybe
1 large minion, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, yeah, if you were jungling, if you clear a 3 camp, you're getting more than the gold buff gives. If you kill a 2 camp, you're getting about the same amount. But anyway, so I think the gold buff should be better, but this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I actually miss the old gold buff.
Yeah, I like the old gold buff too.
Where you killed it, it was a lot tankier, first of all, harder to kill.
Yeah, it's harder
but then it gave you a increased gold for every last hit.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be really cool to have that back.
Like an aura, which was, but I liked that way better than this gold buff.
Plus,
but also,
you had to
I understand how now
plan to use that one.
That's true.
Right, you couldn't just take it. Now
it's way harder to contest for the offlaners, I guess, which is part of why they did it.
Yeah, I think the instant kill is well, not instant kill, but the easy buff is cool. I kind of liked the old buff effect though more, but no. So black buff is now orange buff. It's literally the exact same. It's just for better visibility on the new map.
So you can see it, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're like blind or something.
And hey, dude, we asked, they delivered. We got some Orb Prime changes, which is exciting. Kind of. I think this is better.
So they removed the root ability, which is sad.
Which is the one we talked about and said that we liked.
But they added a new scatter projectiles ability. So Prime Helix launches 10 slow homing projectiles into the air, which distribute themselves evenly amongst all enemies nearby OP. So,
one thing we talked about last week was I mentioned that essentially there should be some mechanic so that essentially OP is more and more dangerous the less people you have there. And this is exactly what that does. Each person, again, I don't know how much these actually slow you, how much damage they do. We'll have to see.
A good amount.
But taking 2 hits from this versus taking 10 hits from this is insane. It's an insane difference. I really like this. This makes it so OP, it's way safer to go as a team. And one of the things we were saying is, I know you said OP should take longer to kill and do more damage. I disagree that it should take longer to kill, but I did think it needed to do more damage, and this definitely, I think,
does more damage
yeah,
than the root.
As a
Because
team
the root
of,
didn't really.
as a team of 5, you probably don't take much more damage. But honestly, I don't think that's that big of a deal because you weren't gonna like if you're going.
Yeah,
as a
that's
team
the
of,
whole point. If
yeah.
you should
but
have.
if you're two man, right? But if you're two manning it,
this could hurt.
It's gonna hurt. Also, they updated the order in which OP casts its abilities. So it used to be it would knock back first, and then there was a cone that would slow you, and then it would do the root
ability.
And now it's like reversed. So now it starts with the scattered projectiles, it does the slow, and then the knockback. Honestly, I like that, except that I don't think scattered projectiles should be first, because now I like that you have to fight it with the full team, but now I don't like it that you get punished for starting before your whole team is there.
Yeah, so like you basically have to wait for like 3 people to be there
to even
start. Otherwise, you're tanking all 10 fucking scattered projectiles.
Yeah,
like,
but
just
whatever. I think this is a net win for OP. I think it's, first of all, the encounter is more interesting, which is cool, kind of more interactive, and he is more threatening. So, and that's good. That's what we want in like a boss like OP. Lane minions have been changed a little bit. Minions are added now a little bit later, extra minions. So it used to be the 19th, the 31st, and the 48th waves. Minions would be added. Now they're added the 22nd, the 38th, and the 58th. So, anyway, that's cool, I guess.
All right. Other than that, I feel like we just got some card changes, right?
So we're gonna try to. Last time this took forever. We're already at almost an hour, so we're gonna try to go through these quick.
I think we're just gonna try and pick out the ones that look like, yeah, exactly, the ones that actually matter.
Yeah. Nice.
So
most of these are just kind of QOL, quality of life changes, but
yeah, and also like cards no one actually uses.
Yeah, agreed. So the first one that we can just maybe each take a card and just keep going.
Yeah. Which
ones? So the first one I see that I think is a big deal is Possessed Sprykin. Increased power from 6 to 10. So Possessed Sprykin is
a cursed card.
It's a death card. It's the cursed card that
it gives passive healing, health regen.
Yeah. So currently it gives 6 power, 120 health, and 12.5 health regen. Tons, at least at my elo, tons and tons of like offlaners and junglers run this card. I see it all the time, and I don't play offlaner jungle, so I never run it because I literally have no idea what those roles do. But increasing the power from 6 to 10, I'm kind of surprised just because it seems to me like a lot of people already are running this card, and now it's better. So honestly, I don't even know if this card is good or bad or balanced or whatever, but it's now better. So, yep.
So other than that, the only one that really kind of stands out to me under the death is Veil Stepper. They buffed Veil Stepper. Now it gives 5 power as well. I already hated this card, not because it was broken, but just because we've had a lot of conversations about being able to use wards in a as-need situation, which you can't do right now, and this makes people stealth, which is annoying. So before it just gave health regen and basic armor, so it wasn't really that offensive of a card, but now it gives power.
With the exception of the ability.
Yeah, with the exception of the ability, and now it gives power too. So.
Yep.
Sure, I guess. I mean, it's only 5, so it's not like it's a ton or anything, but I just not really sure why that card needed to be buffed. I actually wish it would get removed.
Okay, the next one, and I think this one is huge, is Withering Shadow. So this is the card that damages you and all nearby enemies. So it used to deal 125 ability damage per second to yourself and nearby enemy units. Now, just kidding. I guess that the one I was reading wasn't updated. It's 85 to you and all nearby
Yes.
enemies. Now it's 55. And this R used to be able to stack. Now it can't, which is good. So yeah, this card got nerfed. You would see this card a lot on like Rampage and Zinx are the big ones. Sometimes other characters like Fang, like tanky characters. This card is super annoying. I don't think it needed to be nerfed this hard, especially since it can't stack and Zinx got nerfed. But whatever. In general, I think they might have gone too far with the nerf, but I think it did need to be nerfed. I just want to look. I actually don't know what this Wound Seeker card is, which is the last one. Oh, that's that's the one that
blight one.
Applies blight. Yeah, well, that card is you're probably never gonna use, so it's whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, it got buffed, increased power from 16 to 19, increased attack speed from 18 to 21. So I used this card at the very beginning of V42 before I really knew what a lot of the cards did. You know, it gives a power and attack speed, which is nice on a ranged carry, and it costs 2 vitality and 6 agility. So you know, it was a nice stepping stone.
And the big thing was that this applied blight, but it only applied blight to critically wounded targets, which are targets that are below 25% health. And at that point, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it also ignores basic armor against critically wounded targets, which is like
that's cool too. But anyway.
Like I don't know. I mean, it got buffed, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think that the passives are good, and that's why they buffed some. I mean, I think that those really need to change. Maybe like 50% health targets instead of 25% would be nice, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, on to knowledge.
Yep. So the first big one is Sleeper Agent.
Sleeper Agent. Yeah, definitely.
So reduce the cast range from 1750 to 1100. So a huge decrease in the cast range. I don't actually know why it was 1750. That seems like stupid long. 1100 is probably where it should be, although this still is just a huge nerf. But I still think the card is really good, but it's just not as good. And now, like, the one big thing I see this changing, for example, I've played a character where I was a Belka, was against a Gideon, they're getting ulted. I wasn't even in the Gideon ult, but I silenced the Gideon out of his ult right after you casted it. Now, you can't do that. I mean, you could still do it if you're inside the Gideon ult, but I don't think you would be able to do this from outside. I don't know. I don't know ranges very well in this game, but
yeah, but it definitely feels like you'll feel this for sure.
So I just want to real quick, I just want to talk about the next one, which is Soldier of Fortune. I have no idea why this was changed, because what this card does is it lets you it's on a 90-second cooldown, this ability, but you destroy a target minion and gain 150 bonus gold and 30 experience. And it costs 75 mana. Now they increase the cost from 4 int to 500 gold and 4 int.
So you have to use it 4 times before it pays for itself.
And the bonus gold, it was increased from 150 to 175, and the bonus experience from 30 to 35. This card, that seems like a straight nerf. Because it's on a 90-second cooldown, like, yeah.
You have to have this card for 5 minutes before its active actually does anything.
Yeah.
And its active doesn't do anything to characters. It just does things to...
It seems not good.
Yeah. So.
But whatever.
Next, Static Trap. They adjusted Static Trap from 3 agility 4 int to 2 agility 5 int, which is nice.
Yep.
Static Trap is a really good card, but most casters do not want to build agility. And 3 points is quite commitment.
And I feel like a lot of characters who use this card too, you'll see it on sometimes like Steel or Richter or Wraith. But again, none of those people really wanted to buy agility, but now you have to buy less of it, so that's good. So yeah.
And then the only other one that I really see is the wetware virus change.
Yeah, this is weird.
Now launches a homing projectile on activation instead of being instant cast. That feels really bad, honestly.
I wonder how fast it is. Honestly, I don't think this will matter that much. I don't see this doing a ton. It depends on the speed of the projectile, but I just like don't know why this was changed.
I feel like
doesn't seem like it does anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can like dodge the projectile or like hide behind a wall and like block the projectile. I don't even really know. If the projectile is guaranteed to hit, then it just seems like a waste of code.
Yep.
Moving on to order.
So crippling glare. Oh, you're gonna go to Godmother. I want to talk about crippling glare real quick because I use this on pretty much all my supports, at least in aggressive decks. The cast range got the sleeper agent treatment reduced from 1750 to 1100, which is huge. And again, it launches a projectile. It's not instant cast. Whoa. Again, I don't really know why. I can understand the cast range. I don't really get the projectile crap. But maybe now it can be like blocked by stuff. I wonder if that's the
I mean, now you can block it with steel shield.
That's true. Right? Honestly, I'm thinking that's what it is. It can also be reflected by yin, I would guess, which actually is really cool. Yeah, I don't know if that's how that works, but it would be cool. Also, maybe it can get killed by Yin's ult. So I guess now that I think it, maybe that's what it is. And in that case, it's kind of cool. There's like some counterplay now. So yeah, actually, I like that if that's the case. It really, again, I need to know what the speed is to actually have a real opinion on this. But anyway,
so while I was gonna hop to Godmother Vigilance, well, they just fixed an issue where the elevate effect was giving too much health. So another nerf to this card. Is the third in a row.
Yep.
So feels bad, man. Godmother Vigilant.
Light Step Vanguard. This is the Vanguard. This is the teleport card. This is a huge buff. The teleport cooldown is reduced from 100 seconds to 60.
Halved.
So almost half, yeah. And then the channel time went from 4 seconds to 3 seconds.
So a 25% buff.
Yeah. So honestly, I think that is a pretty big deal. I think this card, if you weren't running it on order decks that built agility naturally, or excuse me, intellect naturally, you should now. Because I just definitely think it's worth using. I'm going to start putting this probably in like all my support decks. And just one thing to note, if you played League, you probably would expect this, but this card works with the quick exit gem. If you're standing in base and you teleport somewhere and you have the quick exit gem, when you teleport to the tower that you're going to, once you get there, you will have the speed from quick exit, which is cool to make some plays. I've only done it like once, but it's pretty tight when you do. So. Yep.
Not too many order changes, so we'll move on to Grove. Do you want to talk about Apex Predator at all?
I think we should. Yeah. So Apex Predator, they've reduced the max stacks from 50 to 40, and I think part of this is because of the jungle change.
Yes.
It's gonna be harder to get stacks. I still think it will take longer to stack this, despite this change. That's my guess. They've increased the power per stack, but at max stacks, it's going to be the same. So that's important to note. But they are increasing the ability armor bonus at max stacks from 18 to 24. I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, it's hard to get ability armor, so any cards that do get them.
They've also reduced the cooldown between stack application from 6 to 4 seconds.
Which almost seems like it would do something, but because there are way less minions.
But I don't see. I'm confused by this wording. It says stack application. I'm wondering, does that mean that like you were? Oh wait, hold up. Yo, I'm dumb. No, we're dumb. Apex Predator is we're thinking of a different card.
I'm not. I have it open.
Apex
Grant
Predator
stack of 0.6 power when damaging enemy heroes.
Sorry, but I was talking about the one that you're killing jungle minions. This is the one.
Yeah, that's the other one, the 3/3.
Okay, just kidding. I think this is a straight buff, and I think it needed this because I think this card is really cool, but it was just too hard to get it to max stacks, and it took too long. I think this makes it better. I think honestly the biggest problem with this card is the cost. I think the fact that it's a 2 vitality 5 agility, intellect cost doesn't really work with the effect. I think if it was 2/5 vitality agility, this card would be way better. I don't know why it's intellect. Doesn't seem like
I don't know. I mean, like, I guess if you build this in the mid game on a caster,
like,
and
who are you gonna build this on?
Max stacks, and then you have a lot of ability armor and power from this versus the other mid laner.
But then
it should give you an advantage in 1v1.
Like, the only character I would right now even consider running this on really is Ziggs, because she's gonna be building those stats anyway.
If you're doing like a tank Iggy build.
Yeah, if you're running growth for Iggy, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but then I mean, but you don't need the attack speed, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, Zekin, this one's big.
Flame of Zekin stacks are lost when a card is discarded. So the whole really cool / really strong part about this card was that you could buy it early, stack it a few times, and then sell it, and then just buy it whenever you needed to go. You just had to switch out whenever you were going to try taking OP or Raptor objectives. Now you have to commit to having this instead of one of your other items.
Yeah. Honestly, I know that they talked about that being a bug, that stacks were kept after selling it, but I think it was better that way. I think they should have kept it. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know. I think the Flame of Zekin might be dead now. It's really hard to justify the smite for a single objective the entire game.
Yeah, I agree.
Which sucks, because that means we're going back to basically just whoever can get a lucky auto attack kills OP. Yeah. If you guys are fighting around it. So, feels bad. Sprykin, bug changes. Oh, Tyrant. So this is the card you were talking about. Reduce power from 15 to 10. Increase power per stack from 4 to 7, or 0.4 to 0.75. Increased max health bonus at max stacks from 150 to 200, and reduced max stacks from 50 to 35. So, basically, overall, this card got nerfed.
No. You're wrong. Well, the health got nerfed. The power actually got buffed, because at max stacks it used to give you 20 plus the 15, give you 35 total. Now at max stacks it actually gives you 26.5 power, I think, plus the 10. You're actually getting more overall, so it's weaker early. I think this is a good change for stacks. I think the stack change, you're going to stack it about just as fast as you would have before. And at max stacks, you actually get more power but less health. So I think this is fine. Actually, I mean, you're hardly getting any more power. You're getting a little bit less health.
1.25.
But I think this card was really good. I don't think it was if it was overpowered, but I think it was good. I think it's still good, and it's still going to be built a lot.
Yeah, it's like a really consistent jungle mid game item or like early mid game item. It just feels strong, and this plus growth totem feels really good into the mid game. Unbroken Spirit got buffed. Well,
I think this is
changed.
Yeah, so power went
increase
from
the power.
It went from 13 to 18. Health went from 480 to 360. So just it's a little bit more offensive now. That's pretty much it. And then Vital Waters, which is the card that gives extra healing, the max health from it is reduced from 325 to 265. That's it. So on to Chaos. So the first one is really big, I think.
Blitz Rush.
Yep.
This card that no one ever used.
Dude, I use it occasionally, and I'm never really disappointed when I build it, although just building the 2 intellect for it is kind of hard. But, so this is the card that you use it and you dash forward so many units. It's like 1,000 units, which is pretty decent. And I actually really like this card that it's you dash forward and it's instant cast versus like Telelink where you have to like reactivate it.
Click.
Yeah, but the cooldown went from 60 seconds to 25, which is crazy. I think it's awesome.
Over 50%.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. I think this card is gonna be good now. You still have to go a little bit out of the way to build it for
I don't know.
But if you need a
you
blink,
have to spend 2,000 gold that you don't on something that's giving you nothing. It basically costs 2 agility and 2k.
I don't know. I think, but this this is so, dude. I don't know. Think about in League. Okay, think about you're playing League, and would you pay 2k gold to? And of course, you know, gold is different between the two games, but honestly, I don't think it's. I think 2k gold in League is probably more than 2k gold in Paragon.
Yeah.
So let's say in League, would you be willing to pay 2k gold to reduce your flash cooldown from 240 seconds to 25 seconds? Because I bet you would.
Well, yeah. But this is not nearly as good as Flash.
You're right. I don't think it's not nearly as good. I don't think it's as good, but I think this card
flash
is good.
over walls.
True, but you can use this as an engage and a disengage. It's a better engage and disengage than what's the 3 cost? Nitro Boost that everybody's using. Honestly,
I still think
Nitro
Boost is way better. I still think Nitro Boost is way better in every single way. Like, first of all, you don't have to spend. It costs less. You don't have to spend any gold out of the way. You're buying stats you would have been buying anyway. It's on a 12-second cooldown, and
yeah, but you're only getting speed for 3 seconds.
It's worth in 3 seconds you're moving 1,000 units though.
I don't think so. I mean, in 3 seconds total, you're going to be moving 1,000 units. You're not going to be moving 1,000 units further though. In the 3 seconds because of the speed increase. I think it's what, like 150?
Not, but you can use it twice though.
Yeah, but the difference between a 1,000 like unit gap closer that's an instant cast versus a
plus
slight speed
it costs
increase.
Mana.
Dude, so
and
does...
Nitro Boost doesn't.
Oh, you're right. Nitro Boost doesn't cost. Dude, I don't know. I think the playmaking potential for this card is crazy. I've used it on carries before, and I think it's good but situational. And now I think it's still situational.
I think that this card, this change might be something that brings Revenant back. If Revenant builds, because for Revenant,
this card, I think Revenant. Yeah, I think Revenant is the best carry with this card. So you're right.
I think that because that's what he needs is you ult them, they run away, and then you blitz rush. You're next to them again. Like
yeah. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
almost like, but then what do you do late game? I don't know, just die.
Well,
so
late game, you buy Death Crawler, which just got nerfed slightly.
Again,
kind of. So the Mighty Strike, this is the attack that does bonus damage. Now will only. So it used to be, essentially the first attack that hit after the 12 or after the 8 seconds would do bonus damage. Now it's the first attack regardless of if it hits or not. So if you miss the empowered attack, it goes away. Currently on live, it will stay until you actually hit something. So it's a nerf. Unless you never miss this shot, then you literally won't see a change. But it's a nerf. So anyway.
Dune Winds got nerfed.
Yeah, I don't know why,
for
dude.
some reason.
I was like the only one that I ever saw use this card. And I love Dune Winds. I think it's so cool. I would use this game in my late game carry decks. But yeah, I don't know. It's
increased max health cost from 100 to 150, so increased by 50%. Reduced power per stack and reduced attack speed per stack, both only by 1. But like
I don't know why.
It already felt only okay, and now it just feels even less than only okay. So.
Honestly, I think the power and attack speeds per stack is fine. I think the max health is big. But especially because
instead of when you use it twice, now you lose the same amount of health that you would have when you use it 3 times before. So like,
yeah. So the way this card works is like every time you activate it, the effects double from what they were before. So like it used to be when you used it the first time, you'd lose 100 health and gain the stats. Then you used a second time.
This is max health, by the way. I don't know if we specified that, but max health. So it's not like just it costs you 100 health one time.
Yeah. You're decreasing your max health. So let's say you use it the first time, you lose 100 health. You use it the second time, you lose 200 health. You use it a third time, you lose 400 health. Usually I would use it 3 times on my carries. That seemed to be the sweet spot because usually I'd have Trapper and one of the tribe in that same build. So I'd have some extra health from those cards. So in that case, you're losing 700 health total when you use that. Now you're losing 150 and then 300 and then 600. So now you're losing 1,050 health. So you're losing 350 more health and you're not gaining as many stats. I don't think this card needed to be nerfed. I honestly didn't see anybody else playing it. But I don't know. It did seem strong, but so maybe this is okay, but I think they should have left it in the game for a little longer before nerfing it. That's just my opinion, man.
Nitro Boost no longer grants attack speed. It used to give 11 attack speed. Now it just gets 8 power instead.
Which I think is a buff.
Actually matter. No, I think it's a huge buff, honestly, because you can get attack speed passively through attributes, but you cannot get power passively through attributes.
Plus, this helps you with last hitting. This helps you with poking. I don't actually know in like a fight, like in a full team fight, in an extended fight, I don't know if this is more or less damage, but it's rare that Nitro Boost is like an early game card, and it's rare that those situations will come up in the early game.
Yeah.
So when you're just poking or last hitting or short engagements, power is better, and so this card is better. I don't know why they nerfed or buffed this card. It seemed like it was in every carried build ever. It didn't seem super like awesome, but it was a solid card, and now it's just better. But whatever. Fine.
Profiteer, just is kind of an interesting change. Gold gain per enemy minion kill from 55 to 60, just making it a little bit easier to pay for itself.
Yep. Unstable
nice.
Cyborg. This one is huge.
So yeah, so this was one of the most broken cards in the game.
Yeah, so good.
I don't think we've ever talked about it before, but like it's in every single jungler build.
Yeah, any tank deck that runs chaos or like bruiser.
So it used to be every 0.4 seconds there's a 20% chance to deal 120 ability damage to all nearby enemies when taking damage, obviously. And the range was 1,500. So everyone within 1,500 units from you took 125 damage.
Range. That's insane. That's the radius. Let's be clear. We were talking about this earlier. That's the radius.
So now it's 700.
Right. So less than half. Honestly, this is still a decent size radius. I think this is good. Probably.
I think that 1,500 was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's just way too big. And then also they increase the cooldown between activations from 0.4 to 0.5. So not that big, but
yeah, that's fine.
But it's important.
Yep.
Because this card used to do, it does a ridiculous amount of damage. Now they reduce its damage by a lot.
Yep. So there were a couple bug fixes and stuff, but we will just pass those onto gems. There were a couple of gems that were changed. So consume the
pretty
dead.
Much. Go for it.
This is, I think, the 11 cost. Is that right? No.
Consume the Dead is a 19 slot.
19. I'm done.
19 slot vitality.
Yeah. So
gem.
You just want to read it. I assume you have it open there.
After killing an enemy unit, you are healed for 15% of the enemy's max health over 3 seconds.
So it went from 15% to 10%. I don't know if people really ran this card a lot. I don't think I ever really saw it, but again, I don't really play any of the characters that would run this card. So I don't know.
I don't play tanks.
But
it seems good, but I mean, I don't know.
So it got nerfed, but yeah. So I don't know. It didn't seem like
what,
people were running
you
this
only
card.
use it on junglers, but jungle camps don't actually do damage, so who cares?
But if you're killing, like, if you get the killing
lane minions,
blow,
I guess.
But if you get the killing blow on somebody in a team fight, you're gonna heal for a decent amount. But
that's true.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
It says enemy unit. That can't include characters.
Yeah, it does. Healing towers are just a tooltip fix. So we want to talk about that.
Improved killing blows they buffed, but we already decided that card sucks.
Yeah, this is the is it 6 or 7? I forget which one it is, but anyway, it's the second.
It's a first slot agility.
Oh, it's first slot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So the bonus gold per kill. This is the one that gives you bonus gold on minion kill.
Yep.
The gold went up from 5 to 6. I still don't.
Still think it's bad.
I think this card is worth it, but yeah. But it's better, I guess. Jungle Lifesteal Gem. This is the 1 cost agility gem. Increased flat health restore from 4 to 5. Oh, excuse me, 4 to 5.
It's actually a vitality.
So what did I say?
Jungle Assassin is the agility one.
Oh, I said agility. That's what I meant, vitality. The green one.
Yep.
This is better, but the reason this card isn't good is because
the jungle camps don't do damage.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm interested to see if there's more. If the
reason they buff this is because the jungle camps do damage now, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. If this single big minion actually does more damage, then maybe you actually will need some health in the jungle. I hope so, but whatever. And then quick exit. So. This is the 1 cost vitality gem.
Feels bad.
Reduced movement speed bonus from 350 to 300. This gem is still good or better than a lot of
the best
other
1 slot green gem.
But
pretty much,
it's worse.
Hands down.
Anyway,
I guess healing towers is probably better if you're an offlaner.
If you're an offlaner. Yep.
But literally, other than that, it's like the only 1 slot vitality. So they changed chests a little bit.
Yeah, this is cool. I like this.
Chests and keys are now considered special reward items, and chests now have normal rewards, just like they have cards and gems, and then 1 special reward. So it's a pretty long list, but basically, you can get a flat amount of rep that increases obviously based on the chest, an XP boost, a rep boost, rare epic cards, which
are always 1-win boosts. So that's not super exciting, but it's alright.
And then obviously a chest of the next level, just like before, which I love.
Yep. And then once you get to some higher level chests, once you get to the gold chest, you can get skins and emotes as well. Then in the diamond chest, you can get a loot crate key. Yep.
Loot crate key, which is nice.
And those
were really hard to get to.
The chance to get a gem has now been doubled for all normal rewards, which I think is pretty cool.
Amen. Because I still only have 3 multi-shots and no other 13 slot.
Agility gems. Feels bad.
So
card unlocks. This one is big, I think. Well, for newer players anyway. This literally doesn't affect me at all, but I think this is awesome. You can now unlock cards with a rep, which is great. I think this is a better solution than unlocking all the cards from the start. I kind of agree with Epic that you shouldn't have all the cards at the start, especially if you are actually a new player, and especially if you are new to the genre. Having 100 cards, over like 125 cards almost, to choose from at the very start when you're making decks is a ton, and I don't think you should have that much. It's super overwhelming, but I like now that you can buy cards with rep. So we'll have to see how much it actually gives you, but yeah.
Another kind of hilarious change is hero leveling XP has been reduced for ranks 1 through 4, so people who are crying about how long it takes to get to max rank, well, screw you guys. It's going to take longer now.
Yep, sorry. Wait, unless or does it mean the opposite? Does it mean the amount of XP you earn, or the amount of XP required to level up?
Maybe it means the amount of XP required to level up, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's worded weirdly.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
Other than
that? So they added this, I think is actually important, and I don't like it, but it's not that big of a deal, is added a 10-second pre-spawn in-game chat notifications for River and Gold buffs, Raptors, and OP.
So basically you don't have to pay attention yourself anymore?
It's more like noob-friendly, which is kind of good, but I think having to keep track of these things is like important, and I think not having to keep track of them, for some people might see this as like a quality of life change. I think more competitive people will see this as
dumbing down of the things you have to do in the game.
Yep. They also added just another quick thing. They added auto run to the game, which is awesome. The reason I like this. Oh, what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, except they didn't change the shop screen. To the best of my knowledge, so it's still going to cancel your auto run.
Wait, are you serious?
So
really?
I thought so. I mean, it didn't say anything about changing it, and it cancels everything you're doing right now.
But isn't that because, like... Really? But I don't think that...
Movement input, ability usage input, or cancel input, it will stop. So
yeah,
maybe
so
not.
it's none of those things. Yeah. I think you can.
Maybe.
I think that's like the only thing I thought auto run would be good for. But that's really cool. You can run to lane and be looking at the shop, which is like awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Which is nice. I've wanted to do that for quite some time.
Outside of that,
I think that's it.
The only thing they got really is like some bug fixes, polishing, loot crate changes, visual effects, projectile improvements, but those aren't super important. AI.
Some projectile collision changes.
Yeah. I don't think this... Oh, wait. Projectiles sizes changed to reflect more precise targeting. Should be much easier to target specific minions with basic attacks when playing heroes such as Howitzer. That's good. Yeah. Cool.
Alright.
Sweet. Well, we've been going for like an hour and a half now. I know you have places to be.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I think we did a pretty...
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you watched...
yeah, if you watched the new video.
Yeah. I prefer podcast format over like video format, but now you have the option.
You know, just quickly, something I do want to say about the hero changes. I really like the way that Epic is doing hero changes right now, because I always feel like in almost every other MOBA that I've played, they make these huge, swinging, crazy balance changes where everyone they just change like all their abilities in ridiculous ways at the same time. And we were, saying a lot of the time, step in the right direction, right? And right, I think I think that's how MOBAs need to be balanced, step in the right direction. Like the crazy changing everything all at once and stuff that most MOBAs do to try and please their player base, it usually ends up having, the law of unforeseen consequences. For every one consequence you predict, there will be at least 3 that you didn't predict, and at least one of those is more likely to be negative than positive. So,
yeah.
So I think this really limits that a lot, and I do like the way that I like a lot of these bound changes. I think they're doing a really good job.
With you. Gosh, I'm so excited. This map, I'm looking again at these screenshots. This map looks so cool.
It's amazing.
I'm really excited.
See, in the auto run thing, he never in the video he never looks at the actual store. He just like
what a noob, dude.
Levels up his. But you can do that anyway, just by like holding. Also, he's building agility on Faye. Like, so don't listen to this kid.
Yeah.
What?
You got anything else, dude?
Nope.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to Tennessee.
Shout out to Tennessee again, dude.
Always shout out Tennessee.
Let's go.
Until one of you guys emails us, and then you'll get a real shout out.
Yeah. Please. Speaking of emails, please email us. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at crashbangboomthepodcast@gmail.com. Send us questions, future topics, ways to improve the show, what you like, don't like. If you just want us to give you a shout out, we totally will. We are not above that.
Actually, I lied. I do have some shout outs. Shout out to Canada, Poland, and United Kingdom.
Dude, and the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure
we didn't have any. Yep, and Netherlands. You're right. One in the Netherlands. We didn't have any international. Oh wait, and Malaysia. Shout out to Malaysia.
Yeah, dude,
but so we literally only had United States downloads, and so we're starting to branch out. So if you guys want to email us, feel free. United Kingdom's coming in in a hot second place with 6 downloads.
Let's go.
Shout out to you guys.
Nice.
Shout out.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate the support. International support now. I love it.
International support.
Yeah. Outside of emailing us, if you want to get a hold of us, visit our Twitter at CrashBangBoomPC. PC, of course, standing for podcast. We release all our episodes on there, so if you want to know when an episode goes live, of course, if you're subscribed to us on iTunes, you will get it. But if you are following us on Twitter, you'll also see updates then, and sometimes we'll post updates about when we're going to be posting episodes in the future, or other news we find that's interesting, or just podcast-related things. You can also visit us at Podbean at crashbangboom.podbean.com. That's where we're actually hosting our podcasts. So if you follow us on there, or you can see some cool graphics and stuff over there. And I think you can leave comments too. I'm not really sure. I'm Podbean noob. But visit us on all our stuff. Follow us. Leave us reviews. Email us. Again, we would love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously.
Let us know.
Muted's lonely, so
let us know.
He wants to hear from his friends.
Bible thump.
Yep.
Thump.
Yeah, next week I think will be a pretty hype episode. We'll get to see how all these changes play out. Talk a little bit about what we think of Monolith, the new Monolith visual update. And yeah, I'm really excited to
talk about. Yeah, it'll be fun to talk about
all the changes,
FPS changes, and different stuff like that come in with the visual updates.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
One quick thing before we go. So we might start putting episodes a little bit later out in the week. Usually they've been coming out like around Monday, Tuesday, consistently. We're kind of starting next week. Probably we're going to be doing them maybe a little bit later in the week. Probably I would say expect episodes around Wednesday or Thursday. But me and I have to figure this out. But anyway, expect a little bit later episodes. Also, next week we'll be kind of full up and running. Hopefully, if Muted isn't a noob, with the VODcast. You can see this stuff on YouTube. Right now, they're going to be posted on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/alkazoom. Again, with 3 O's. If there's enough popularity, maybe we'll move it to its own channel or something like that. But that's what we're going to do for now.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I know another long episode. Thanks for sticking with us if you have.
Yes, if you made it to this far, if you listened to all the shout outs and all the sellout and you're listening right now, we love you.
And we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.